Hi there, welcome to my channel and my official houseplant tour of 2025. I'm Melissa. If you don't know me and you're new here, welcome. Thank you for watching. If you've been with me for a while, even at the old house when I first did my plant tour, drop me a comment and let me know. I'm very curious. This is my fourth houseplant tour now, so a lot has changed. Even in the past year, my collection today has changed so much. So I'm really excited to film an updated tour and show you the current plants that I'm growing. I do have a pretty large houseplant collection, so how I'm going to do this video today is I'm going to show you every plant that I own, but I may not talk about every plant that I own. So you'll have to watch through in order to see my entire collection. I may just pop a plant with a corresponding name on the screen as I'm talking. That way we can go through them pretty quickly because I don't want to be here for 5 hours, and I know you probably don't want to be here for 5 hours either if I were to talk about every single plant. I am going to be starting here in my plant room first and move to some other areas, but like I said, it is going to go pretty quickly, so grab yourself a beverage, grab a snack, get cozy. We have a lot to get through, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get started here in my plant room. This room here that I consider my plant room is at the south side of the house, so it gets south sun during the day. I do have 2 double windows in here on the main front side of the house, and I do have a lot of additional grow lights in here. I do have 1 cabinet in here that acts as a greenhouse, and everything else is in ambient conditions. I am located here in Savannah, Georgia. It is more humid here, more warm. Inside though, in my house indoor conditions, it is a lot less humid because we run the AC, and then the heat in the winter, it is more dry in here. It is currently 48% humidity and 78 degrees Fahrenheit right now, but it will probably get closer to 80 degrees this afternoon. It is a very gloomy today. It's been thunderstorming every evening, I swear, for like the past month, so it might rain or thunderstorm at some point today. One of the biggest changes to this plant room is this corner right here, this wall. It used to be all moss poles. I had so many in my collection at one point, but this year I decided that they no longer suited my style, my care habits, and I took them all off. And yeah, this entire wall is so different. I still have the plants. I took them all off about 3-ish months ago, so a lot of them are still working on regrowing. I have most of them in this corner down here. And instead of an actual like physical sphagnum moss pole where you add moss into it, I'm using core pole or a stake. Just something that I don't have to water. That was the biggest thing for me. I am excited to see these plants, like say a year from now, and what they're actually going to grow back into. I am continually chopping my plants to make a bunch of propagations, so I don't think I'll ever let them get to a point where they're huge. So yeah, it's a big change in here. Here in the back is a lot of my plants I took off moss poles recently. This is Philodendron glorious, and this is the big top section that was at the top of the pole. It's doing pretty well, and it's maintained all of its leaves since, you know, removing it. I absolutely love the color on Sorderoy. I love that silver blue tone. This one I decided to stick in pond instead of my soil mix, and it really seems to love it so far. It's doing really well. This is my Epipremnum pinnatum Cebu Blue, and this is one that I took off of a moss pole, and it's working on some new leaves up top. And I'm excited to see this plant grow and climb more. I just don't have to water, you know, anything here. I just am watering the soil when it's time to water. Now this was a pretty mature plant at the top of the pole before I took it off, so it is continuing to climb as long as I give it support. It's going to maintain some pretty big leaves, but I love this plant so much. It's one of my top favorite plants. I love the color, and I do have a trailing basket that I will show you as well. But I love Cebu Blue. I love the splits. If you see a black little tail, that is Chai. Chai is our boy cat, and he wanted some cuddles throughout filming this part. He's so cute. Look at him standing on his hind legs. But yeah, he was definitely wanting some attention at this part. I do have another philodendron that's climbing. This is philodendron gigas, and this one is on a clear-backed pole. I just don't have anything inside of it. I've gotten some pretty large leaves on this plant, but it needs to be repotted, and I keep underwatering it so the new leaves get stuck. So I may restart this one. It's a work in progress. And my last two moss bowl plants that I removed are my two epipremnum. This is Just Sienna, and there's Chai's tail again. Just Sienna has the yellow variegation, and then this is Marble Queen, my huge Marble Queen pole that I had back in the day. I'm getting some pretty large leaves post-chop, and I love the marbling that I'm getting. I just absolutely adore this plant. I love this plant so much. And the status update is with Monstera adansonii. It's back to being juvenile. I lost those large leaves, but that is okay. She is going to be huge again in no time. I was on a begonia kick for a while earlier this year, and I wanted a terrarium for begonias. And so the begonias in here do require more humidity. And begonias kind of scare me a little bit, at least ones that do require a lot of humidity. This one here in the corner did kind of rot a little bit. I'm not sure what happened. I did take some cuttings that I'll show you here just as a backup, just in case. For the most part, they are doing well. I actually had another one that rotted here in the front. So I'm trying to leave it a little bit more vented, but yeah, still nervous with terrarium begonias. On the edge here, I have a Alocasia frydek variegated. This is a corm restart. It got attacked by spider mites as well, and I recently took it out of semi-hydro. I'm kind of experimenting with some Alocasia back in soil, so I'll see how it goes here. But yeah, she's not as big as she once was back in the day, but hopefully she'll get there at some point. I do have another one. One of my favorite styling plants right now is this Micans Aria variegated. I had it on a core pole. I was going to extend it, but I decided to clip it onto the wall, and now it's climbing up beside the picture frames. I don't know what my plan is with this plant eventually. I may prop it, I may let it grow crazy, who knows, but I love the way that it looks. Wet paper towel. I'm gonna try and see if I can get this leaf to unfurl a little bit while I talk about this one. So this is Philodendron gloriosum. This is type 2, and I absolutely love the variegation that mine is giving me. I have so much white on this one. I have actually quite a few leaves that are half moons, and I have a full elbow one, and this one here is the newest one that I can tell is going to be beautiful. They don't normally get stuck, but the humidity has been kind of crappy lately in my plant room. It's down to 45%. Oh, I just noticed there's another little baby growth point. Oh, cool. There's like a baby right there. I love the pink veining on this one. So I no longer have my regular gloriosum, the all green. It just wasn't doing well, and I had it for a long time, and I just don't think it was like the healthiest specimen. And so I finally like got rid of that one. And this one I got earlier this year because I really love the coloring and the veining. It's so pretty, and this one's doing extremely well, so much better than the regular one that I had. Okay, oh, I think we're unfurling a little bit. I got it unstuck. Did you hear that sound? Oh, she's pretty. Okay, I'm not gonna mess with it anymore, but look at that color. It's so pretty, another gorgeous leaf. The newer leaves do come in a bit more yellow looking, and then it fades to the creamy tone. You can see the pink veining. It's hard to make out, but it's so pretty. Oh, she is gorgeous. Gorgeous gloriosum. Moving along on this shelf here, I have this begonia white ice. This is a newer begonia earlier this year, and this is actually a propagation from my original plant that ended up rotting. So the propagation is doing well. I planted it and I have new growth. It doesn't seem to be upset, so I'm happy at least this propagation is doing well. But I love the polka dots. I love the white on green contrast of this one. And then below that, I have another begonia. It's a snow-capped variegated, And the pink on green tones on this begonia, I adore this plant so much. I think my favorite is the dark green and pink leaves, like this one here. Just so stunning. She's such a happy begonia and I adore her. I also have a variegated silver sword. This is a propagation restart. I'm letting this grow out and I'll probably cut it back. I have a lot of Monstera albos in my collection, and this is a bottom cut from one of the ones I have at the window. It is producing a lot of white leaves, like this one here is the new one. I'm just going to let it grow, see what it does, and yeah, it's just doing its thing here. I have two Monstera mint tissue cultures. You will see another one here shortly. This is the bottom section that I had chopped all the way back. And it hasn't grown a ton. The newest leaf is less variegated, but I'm just going to let it grow out and see what the pattern does. I may end up chopping it back again. We'll see. I have another Monstera albo here front and center. This one, technically I got it as a white tiger, but from my understanding it's no different than any other Monstera albo. It's just a different name that they were giving it. And it was imported originally and it struggled, but I'm happy to report that it's stabilized, it's growing, it seems really happy. I have it in semi-hydro as well. Very white stem, but has a beautiful marbling, so I'm excited to see future leaves on this one. Two of my favorite plants in my collection right now are these two Monsteras here. I have a Monstera jungle mint and then I have a Monstera mint. They're both non-TC and they are just stunning, beautiful Monsteras. This one is the newest one here and she is stunning. Absolutely no words. She has a new leaf that is very, very minty. The leaf before was so pretty. I just can't. I stare at these Monsteras so many times a day. Monstera is my favorite plant genus and I love all the different varieties, but this one here is just so pretty. And I love my jungle mint. My jungle mint is huge. I have them both in semi-hydro. Actually, a majority of my Monsteras are in semi-hydro and they really seem to enjoy ponds specifically. And I have a core pole for support. So pretty, right? Just no words, no words. Jungle mint is here and this is her newest leaf. It is a huge, huge leaf. It's not as variegated as some of these, leaves over here. She was doing a pattern of half moons for a while there and she kind of stopped that cycle, but I would say the last three leaves haven't been as variegated. And the stem looks like it's losing a little variegation. I will be chopping this Monstera at some point to make some propagations, but for right now, I don't know what to do. She is at the top of her pole, so what I might do is let one more leaf come out, and if that one isn't as variegated, because like I said, I feel like the stem is losing variegation, I might go ahead and chop it back, but I'm going to keep the top leaves for sure, but I'll probably start a second plant for me that will produce more of the minty tones. I love the dark green on this one. And Monstera mint, I love how the fenestrations go in further than regular Monstera deliciosa, and mine hasn't given me any secondary fenestrations. I know it's less common with this form, but she is beautiful nonetheless. Like, this is a huge leaf. But I love this Monstera so much. Definitely my favorite. These are definitely like my two favorite plants right now, for sure, these two Monsteras. Here on the very end is my climbing Mandula pothos. I do have a basket of this plant as well. I took this one off a moss pole and it's still giving me some pretty large leaves, but I love this pothos so much and I can't wait to see her climb more. I'll probably end up letting her climb the wall off of the pole. The window over here houses a lot of my big plants on top, mostly Monsteras, and then I have a row of some random plants I'm always rearranging over here. I feel like my favorite Monstera albo at the moment, I love my huge one, but this is my one that is more white. It's more sentimental because this originated from my very first Monstera albo cutting that I had in my collection back in the day. Hope she gets really big and beautiful one day, I'm not chopping her at all. I really love Monstera albo too, so it's really hard to pick favorites between all the Monsteras, but this one is special. I have to be careful because I'm air layering my Aria, and one wrong move, she's gonna come tumbling down. I'm gonna be chopping those plants soon. Another one of my favorites is Monstera Flame. I got this one as a tiny tissue culture in 2023, and she's been chopped once, so the bottom growth I no longer have, and so this is the top growth. I may just end up extending and then letting her get more fenestrated leaves and then chopping again. This is the most recent leaf, and it has 5 fenestrations, which is the most that I have gotten. The leaves before had 4 splits, this one, and then this one had 3. I have this one in semi-hydro as well, and I recently put the air roots down back into the pond. I like cut them and push them down in here. I'm hopeful that these aerial roots will take root and will help this plant get more nutrients and help mature faster. So I'll probably guide the extra aerial roots down that way. I have a core pole for her as well. And yeah, once I get some more fenestrations, I'll probably do a chop, probably under like maybe like this leaf or something, or this leaf. I'll probably do like halfway and restart her with more mature fenestrations. She does grow a bit slow, but she's grown a lot in the time that I've had her, but definitely a slower growing Monstera, but one of my favorites for sure. Here is the ginormous, huge Monstera albo. It is so big and massive, and I have it on 3 layers of a cocoa core pole. And I have 2 vines in this pot. It's in a huge thing of pond. One side grows a little bit more green, and the other side has some more variegated leaves. But some of these leaves are absolutely stunning. Of course, I love the variegated ones. Here is a new one here that just came out. Such a beautiful plant, and yeah, one of the vines was flying off the pole, so I had to tame it back a little. I'll chop her back, or at least cut part of the plant back at some point, but for now I'm gonna let her get as big as she can get. Here is my second Monstera Aria. This is my smaller one. It is more variegated. This has the bright yellow tones, and here away from the window you can see the yellow a bit more. It's kind of hard to show you with it being backlit. This one does brown pretty easily, but again, I just love the variegation. Here is the other mint Monstera that I was talking about. This is the other TC. This was a mid-cutting propagation. It's doing the same thing, kind of reverting, so I'll see what the growth does on this guy. I have one alocasia here at the window. It is my pink nobilis. I was using a pest spray that kind of burnt some leaves, and I think that's what happened to this guy, which I'm kind of sad about. So the 2 variegated leaves have some crisping, but she is a beautiful alocasia. Here is the giant Monstera Aria that I'm air layering, and I will be chopping her all the way back soon. I'm actually going to be transitioning the top section into a pond or semi-hydro, and I am propagating the rest of the plant up. She's been growing up on this cocoa core pole for a while. She was actually propagated, was it last year or the year before? I don't remember. But she has been climbing for a bit, and I'm really excited to kind of restart her, get her chopped back, and she'll probably be like Monstera albo, of course, like this huge massive plant again. But she is beautiful. I love these top leaves. I love the yellow, the splits, you name it. Just a all-around beautiful Monstera. I have this little syngonium in the window. This is an OG plant. I've had this plant forever. I've had to restart it actually a couple of times, and it's finally growing back again. Sometimes I forget about it because it's in my window and I only water it, but I love the green. This is a frosted heart syngonium. So I'm happy that this guy ended up surviving, and I love him. I have one Dischidia in my collection. This is a 1 stripe. I actually just moved it here to the window, and I'm hoping it gets some of those burgundy colored leaves like with the sun stressing. So I'll see how it does in this little hanging pot here, but it's cute. I cannot forget about my ping display here. I have 5 different pings in here. I'm not sure of the exact varieties, but this is just my little setup that I have. I think this one that is more pink on the end is Pinguicula Johanna, and I love the purple little flowers. They bloomed for me for the first time a couple months ago, and they're so adorable. I have them sitting on some pumice stone and pon, and I just make sure to keep it hydrated, keep it moist, and they really seem to enjoy the spot in the window. They get some of that bright light coming in, and they eat fungus gnats, of course. That is a huge bonus, so any that are flying around will get stuck to them. I'm going to fly through these bottom two shelves really quick. So here is my other terrarium that has carnivorous plants. I have actually 4 different types of sundews in here. I forget the names of a lot of these, but I'm just going to say Drosera. This lighter green one is a newer one, and the little ends look like little sunflowers or little suns. They have little yellow centers with little spikes that are sticky. It's the cutest little thing. But same thing, I just make sure that it doesn't dry out, and yeah, it traps gnats as well. In this terrarium, I have the propagations of the begonias that are in the terrarium. So the propagation of the pink urchin, is doing okay, and it seems to be rooting and growing. I'll keep some of these in here, and I'll probably pot one of these props back into the terrarium. This is one of 2 of my philodendron red Andersons. This is the bottom cut that ended up growing back. It is highly variegated, and the new leaf is doing the little Cinderella shoe thing. Yeah, the humidity hasn't been great. I'll show you the other one in a minute. And this is my OG Syngonium albo. This is a propagation that I ended up keeping for myself. I just recently put it into my plant room, and it's finally growing back from a wet stick. But I love Syngonium albo. You can't beat the variegation. I have many Syngonium chia pens variegated. This is the bottom section, and this one's coming in less variegated, but I have some that are highly variegated. And this Alocasia caprea I do not like at all. Such a waste of money, honestly. It's supposed to be a mint variegated caprea, and there's no mint. It's basically a tissue culture, expensive Alocasia caprea. The leaves won't size up. It's doing this crazy thing, and no variegation. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this guy. This is my only prayer plant that's in my plant room still, but I am going to move this one to the bedroom with the other ones. This is my trio star, and I absolutely love the pink on this plant, especially the underside of the leaves. It's so vibrant, hot pink. It is the prettiest plant. I restarted this back from a couple cuttings because it had a mealy infestation a while ago, but she's beautiful. This is Halo Micans philodendron, or velvet halo. It has the outer variegation, and some of the leaves have like this weird mutation going on. It's such a cool plant. I cut this back so many times and it regrows just as fast. And I think it's such a cool philodendron. So having one that grows with these random leaves is so cool. So I love this guy. Next up is a Scindapsus. This is a jade satin variegated, but it's more of the aria variegation, so with the yellow. And this guy I've had to restart a couple of times because it wanted to revert on me. So this time I got some of that good yellow to come back. So hopefully it stays. Next up is another OG plant in my collection. It's much smaller now. This is Philodendron burl marks variegated, and it has a lot of the yellow variegation, which is so vibrant on this plant. I cut this one back a lot too, but this is basically the regrowth, and yeah, I love him. I have multiple pink princesses, but this is the most recent propagation project. I took a top cut of my huge plant that I chopped back, and I rooted it here in pond, so this is going to regrow, and I'll chop it back again. And this back corner, I have a couple of Scindapsus. I have a jade satin, which has the really dark leaves. I love the Scindapsus. And then I also have a exotica that's been with me for a really long time. I've had her since the old house, and I love her. I also have a variegated Rhaphidophora tetrasperma that's growing back, and a burl marks mint up here that was imported. And on the floor in this corner, I have plants kind of shoved in here. I have the bottom cut of my Monstera albo. This is the bottom section from the big one at the window that you saw earlier, and I am going to be chopping her all the way back. And then we have Nicolitiana that has been on the struggle bus lately. She has had just such a bout of spider mites, and I sprayed her down, which caused some burning. I had like propagated her back, removed a vine, cut some leaves away. So she's been kind of struggling since. Same with this other variegated Friedac. Hopefully that one comes back here too. My latest propagation was my Monstera Thai constellation. This is a top cut that somehow survived. I just planted it in pond not that long ago. And this massive philodendron here is Philodendron El Choco Red. This plant went through a major blooming cycle, I don't know, for the last several months, and it hasn't really put out a new leaf in a while. So I'm hoping the blooms are done and she can give me a new leaf soon. But yeah, I love her. And this back shelf, I just throw a bunch of random plants here. Honestly, I'm always rearranging it. I kind of want to redo this entire space, like this back wall. Here on the top is Alocasia caprea. This is my OG one. It is huge and she definitely needs a repot. She needs to be upsized, and yeah, she's beautiful. I love Alocasia caprea. I love the leaves and she is just a classic. Beside her is Alocasia Yucatan Princess Variegated. This one has, I think, 5 leaves, and the variegation kind of fades to like a softer yellow over time, but I love this plant. I think the pink stems are really pretty too on this one. I had another one that I put outside because it completely reverted, but at least this one seems to be maintaining the variegation pretty well. So I'm hopeful that this one will continue with the variegated leaves and not revert on me like the other one. I have a couple elbow regal shields up here. This is my original one that reverted. I had actually did a little chopperoo on it and cut the head off, and this is a new growth point that activated lower that has come in with some variegation. So I'm curious to see how the new growth is going to continue to do, but this is technically the mother plant. And then I saved one of her corms, and this one is very promising. I'm putting this one in my like tree fern soil mix, and this newest leaf is so pretty. So I'm really hoping it continues. She is going to give me a new leaf soon, so I'm a little anxious that she might revert on me like my mother plant, but so far she seems really happy. But I'm going to keep this as a second mother plant in my collection. I have a Syngonium Batik Albo variegated here. I just recently chopped this one back, so the variegated leaves haven't really grown back yet, but the leaves have a pretty white tone to them. Some leaves are very minty, some leaves are more like a creamy all white color. I have a bunch of different random genetics, but it's a beautiful Syngonium. Up here is this massive philodendron tortum that is getting huge. I got this at the big box store and I planted it in pond. I think the way that the new leaves come in are so cute. I love like the curling thing that it does. The only thing that I think I want to do is remove the coco core pole and switch it to a stake. I think the core pole takes away from the plant. I feel like it's too big for the vine. So I might switch it out here, and that way the plant can be more of the statement. And then Alocasia heterophylla, I recently separated this plant as well. It was massive in my collection. She took a bit of a hit, but she is bouncing back. I have a few random plants and props on this shelf. I have my string of hearts here. This is the variegated. I had this one in my plant room and then I took it out, and then I most recently put it back in my plant room. I just don't have a hanging spot for it yet, so I just put it here for now. And then I have this philodendron Gabby that is so slow. Most of the leaves are white, so barely any chlorophyll, so definitely a very slow plant at growing. And then this is a Alocasia longlobata purple rehab. I completely rotted the roots, so I'm hoping it re-roots for me in stratum and then I can plant it back. I have a marble queen cutting in here. I'm not sure what my plan is with this. I like the leaf, so I kept it, but I probably won't keep it. And then this is the bottom chunk of my Monstera adansonii moss pole. And I don't really know what my plan is with this guy either. Who knows? I recently repotted these two plants and I love them so much. This is a variegated Thanksgiving cactus here on the right, and then I have a variegated Christmas cactus here on the left. I just think they're the cutest little plants. I moved them into my plant room probably a couple months ago and they've grown so much. They really love my environment in here. I have two variegated dragon scale alocasias. The one on the right here is a pup from the mother plant on the left, and this new leaf is absolutely gorgeous. I seem to struggle with jewel alocasias, so I took them both out of pond, and so far they seem to enjoy the tree fern mix. So I'm very curious how they're going to do over the course of the next several months. I do feel like I am tempted to take a couple more out of semi-hydro. And then I have two alocasias here. Maharani is on the left. I love the gray tone and the texture, of course. And then I have black velvet here on the right. Black velvet needs a repot, and I have like 3 plants that ended up growing. I probably need to separate her, honestly. And the Maharani I did separate. She was a lot more full, but now I just have 1 plant. And here on the bottom, I have another alocasia rehab. This is my regular dragon scale on the right. And then in the middle, this is a Paraiso Verde philodendron. I found this at my grocery store. It was coming in with albo variegated leaves, but I chopped it all the way back to the last node and none of it had continued. And this is my Florida Ghost that is very sad and pitiful. I chopped it all the way back as well, but it's going to regrow back. My Florida Beauty is right here. I love, 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 love this leaf. It had an ant infestation most recently. So there's some DE on the soil. I think they're gone, but just to be safe, I'm keeping an eye out. I chopped her back several times because she wanted to revert, and I finally got this like yellow growth to come in, but I'm still anxious she's going to revert again on me. Another one of my favorites right now is my caramel marble, making sure that there's no ants that are going to come out of here. I had an ant problem with her. I love caramel marble, my favorite philodendron right now. Mine has some pretty good genetics, especially some of these leaves right here. She started as a tiny plant, so she's grown so much too in the time that I've had her. I'm gonna put her down before an ant comes out and I drop her. But I really love this philodendron. Definitely like a highlight staple philodendron for me. I've gravitated to her so much lately just because of the leaf shape and the color. Definitely a favorite. I love my pink princesses, but the red Anderson has a beautiful light pink tones and the stem is pink. The stem, look how pretty that is. The light pink color. And I love the leaves, like I said, some of these are so pretty. I have this one in semi-hydro and I need to repot her. But yeah, she has been a favorite lately. Here on the bottom is my other pink princess. This one I chopped back not too long ago, so this is the top section that's regrowing. And then I also have a variegated Monstera lechleriana back here. I do have a greenhouse cabinet. Like I said, I've had this cabinet now for 4 years. I can't believe this cabinet is 4 years old already. This is from IKEA. It's their milsbo tall cabinet, which is very popular in the plant world. And it's been doing great for the 4 years that I've had it. I have the same lights, same fans, same setup. And I do really love this greenhouse cabinet. So I do feel like the plants in here really do enjoy that environment. And it's always changing. I'm always moving plants around. On top of my cabinet, I have just 2 alocasia right now. I have this dark form alocasia watsoniana, and she is so beautiful. I had a couple other varieties, but they ended up rotting on me. I would like to get those again eventually, but I think this alocasia, the veining, is so unique and she is a beautiful alocasia. I also have a pink dragon aria. I feel like this one's been a bit finicky for me and I don't have any extra grow lights, so they're just getting ambient. And inside my cabinet, I have 3 shelves. This top shelf is the longest, it's the tallest, so I tend to put most of my bigger plants up there, and then I have a middle compartment and the smaller bottom compartment. The middle here, I keep my 2 pink variegated bambinos. Just ignore the crisping, the pest spray just did a number because I was treating for spider mites. Oh, and the bloom is so cool. The bloom actually comes in variegated, which is so unique. But I love the pink bambinos. Honestly, it's a really easy alocasia, easy going, and they love the cabinet, of course. These are some new plants that you have not seen yet. And I am making a dedicated video on these plants, so you will see these very soon, probably next month. These are Alocasia True Amazonica. So these ones get pretty tall and they have the larger leaves. They're actually the same plant. I got them at the same time, but this one obviously is doing so much better. And the video that I am making on these is throughout their journey. So if you're interested in seeing that, stay tuned. This one here is my absolute favorite because of how ginormous this leaf is. It is so stunning. Like compared to my hand, it's a pretty huge leaf, and it has these two here that have kind of low color, and one of the smaller leaves down here that's kind of going. I did upsize this one very recently, so I was hoping I didn't shock it, but it seems to be doing well post upsize. But this leaf is so stunning. The newest one here has a little bit of pink. I really hope the genetics is good on that one. And like I said, this one here I got at the same time. The newest one is a bit more green, but I'm hoping the variegation is good. The other leaves that yellowed had pretty good color. I will be very excited to see these in a couple more months. One of my absolute favorites right now is Alocasia Venom. And this newest leaf right here is even more striking than the other leaves that came out. The two smaller leaves yellowed off that originally were on the plant, and this is the last remaining small leaf. But this plant is so unique and so pretty. I just love the pearliness to it. I love the leaf shape. I love the little tail. I do have a lot of Alocasia. They're one of my favorite plant genus, and this one, I have nothing to say like poorly about this plant. Oh, I can tell that new leaf is going to be so pretty. I do have most of my Alocasia in semi-hydro, and I am experimenting now, moving some of my plants out of semi-hydro, some of my Alocasia. I probably will upsize this one before the end of the year because I feel like it could use it. But it really seems to enjoy semi-hydro. It obviously loves the cabinet in those ideal conditions. I did have a little bit of burning, I think, from a pest spray that I was using that caused some burning to happen, but it only ended up on a few leaves, so hopefully I don't get any more of that. But I was sad when that happened, the burning. But yeah, she is beautiful. Look at that leaf, right? Stunning Alocasia. And honestly, it's been so easy as well. If you're looking for an easy Alocasia, I definitely recommend this one. It has not been at all dramatic for me. I have a few more Alocasia here in the middle section. I have a Alocasia poly. This is a pink variegated, and the newer leaves are coming in with quite a bit of pink, so I'm happy about that. And then I also have two pink black velvets. This one on the left is my mother plant. She went through like a big blooming cycle. She was throwing all pink, and so I took her out of semi-hydro and I'm putting her back in my soil mix to see how she does. And then the other one is a corm from her, so this one I'm growing out as like a second mother plant. That leaf is so pretty. Here on the bottom, this is always changing. This is how it's looking right now, a lot of props. This is my OG varicosum that I had really huge at one point on a moss pole, but I'm restarting some cuttings, and this Alocasia is a Thai version Amazonica, and this one went downhill, so I'm rehabbing that. And I have a variegated Sigonium chiapense. This is the top section that's pretty white, and then I have a bunch of props that are very white as well. Another moss pole propagation that I decided to hold back for me, this is my Epipanatum albo. Used to be really big at one point. As well as Monstera esqueleto. I couldn't bring myself to completely downsize it. My newest philodendron is Philodendron patriciae. This is the newest leaf it gave me since I got it. My plan for this is to put it on top of my IKEA cabinet and let it climb and trail down, but I'm so excited for this plant. I can't wait to grow it. I also have a variegated Adansonii monstera, and this one I got, it's another recent purchase. This is the bottom section. I ended up propagating it all the way back, but my goal is to get this one supported so I can get some big leaves. I used to have one of these back in the day, but it grew all white and didn't make it. This one is my newest plant in my collection. It is a Hoya. I got this recently. It is a cutting, so it hasn't rooted yet, or like there isn't a growth point yet. I do have it in a tiny thing of stratum, and I put it in my cabinet conditions because I feel like it would do really well in here for the time being. But once it actually roots and grows, I will move it to my dedicated Hoya area. I do have another cabinet out there that I'll probably stick this in, but I wanted to go ahead and put it under the environment here in my plant room because it is a cutting and I feel like it would root and stuff better in here. But I'm really excited for it. It is a stunning specimen. So really excited to see this one. The rest of these are alocasia. I have a pink elbow capria, and this one I am rooting in stratum. I have the rest of these are in stratum, and I'm going to probably transfer them to semi-hydro. This one I'm getting very pink leaves, as well as some that aren't as pink, but I'm hoping for a good mix. I'm very curious how this is going to do. I hope it doesn't end up like the pink mint that I was disappointed in. So we'll see here, but nonetheless, it is a very beautiful alocasia. And then I also shared this one recently. This is a Maharani albo. And same thing, I am rooting it in stratum. I'm going to let it get pretty rooted, and then I'll more than likely move this over to pon as well, because my regular one is in pon and it really seems to enjoy it. I am getting a new leaf, which is going to be the first new leaf, so I'm very eager to see that. And then I have a couple rehabs in here. I have a chanterary pink that ended up losing its newest leaf, and a pink black velvet corm that was growing all white. I keep a lot of my alocasia though in the shop room, but these are just some that I have in my cabinet for right now. But like I said, I'm always rearranging and always changing this cabinet. I feel like even from month to month, it never looks the same. I do really like to keep alocasia in here though, because I do think they appreciate the extra light and humidity that they get from being in the cabinet. I do really like the IKEA milsbo cabinets though. Maybe at some point I will get another one down the road. Miss Luna is sleeping in the nursery area. It's very backlit, very bright. I'll give you a peek in the nursery area. I don't want to spend too much time in here. I do need to water this weekend in here and do a lot of plant care and stuff. But I do have some of my own plants in this room that I keep as like mother plants. I have 3 albos, actually more than that. And then I have some like various plants. Gessiana, some syngonium, I have a philodendron, and a couple alocasia that I'm keeping in here, which I'll probably move some of these eventually back to my plant room. But the nursery area is mostly for my shop, and you know, pretty much all the plants are from my own plants, so they're going to be repeat plants that you've already seen, just in smaller form. I redid my shop room probably a few months ago. We had carpet in here. This is like an extra bedroom, and I added 2 more shelves, just like completely redid this. It's still a little bit of a mess. I'm still working on organizing things, but I'm so glad to have more shelves in here, and I filled them up just like that. It's crazy. This section by the door is where I put plants for the restock. I also have some of my own plants kind of shoved in here. This first one is a strawberry shake. This one I had from so long ago. I had 2 wet sticks that somehow survived, and this one just grew. And it's coming in with such pretty color. So now I'm like, do I keep this? Do I let it go? I got this plant like 4 years ago. It's crazy. I also have a lot of alocasia mint polys. My mother plant I put outside because it reverted, but I have so many pups, so I kept one back for me because all the pups are coming in with such beautiful minty tones. So I'm very curious what this is going to grow into. I also have 1 more Regal elbow shields in here. I kept this one back because it was displaying some good genetics. It's more of a muted than a stark white, but the newest leaf has some white on it, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't need 3, but do I need 3? Maybe I can have 3 mother plants. I went ahead and put it in pon, and I'm gonna think on it. Here's one of my newer prop bins. I wanted to show you the Monstera, the one that I got recently. I have some of my begonia snow-capped in here, and then I also have a Hoya that I chopped back recently. So these are working on growing, and then eventually I will be listing a lot of these. I usually keep them in bins so they don't dry out so quickly. And I have a couple Monstera up here. Now these Monsteras are definitely not going to survive. I have chopped them back to the lowest node possible, and the new growth is all white, so I just couldn't throw them away yet. I do have these shelves somewhat organized. This one here in front is all Hoya, and then I do have a 3rd Hoya linearis. You guys will see the other 2 when we go to the Hoya section here soon, but this one I propagate for the shop often, and then I also have another one that I prop from. And then I have philodendron monstera, usually in the middle shelves. I have a lot of propagation bins. And then here on the very left side is all my alocasia. I have some of my more variegated ones in these like clear containers. I do shuffle these out a lot as I list some, and I pot some newer ones up. I'm always moving them around. I've also been playing with some different substrates to see what is going to grow better. I feel like some varieties are a little bit more finicky than others. I also grow all of my alocasia corms in here as well. I need to go corm digging very soon. Here's a tray of the pink princess philodendron that I was talking about from my mother plant. I grow these from the node. I just cut the main leaf off. And here's some more up here in ambient conditions. So once they get a little bit bigger, I will list them. And then I have some water props here, some syngonium, philodendron, and up top out in the ambient, I have some mother plants. I have just sienna, I have 3 monstera albos, I have a couple different varieties of syngonium, syndapsis. The just sienna, I have a couple mother plants that I chop from all the time, but the yellow color is so, so pretty. And I also have a mandula trailing that I propagate from as well. I forgot that she was up here. And then the monstera albos you will see here in a second. I actually decided to repot them later in the evening. So you will see those in a sec. And then here's one of the syngonium. I have an aria. This one is a white butterfly variegated that I got as an import. I haven't chopped it yet. It's been working on like stabilizing and rehabbing, and the color is so good. I wasn't going to keep this one, but I love the muted minty tones. So I am going to propagate this one, I think, soon. And there's Luna again. She's like, what are you doing in here talking to yourself? She's so cute. She loves the shop room because it's so warm. And then here's another look at the 3 monstera albos. I have this one in front was a propagation from my big mother plant in my plant room, and the new growth is already like pretty mature. It is crazy. The original leaf is still on it. And then this one in the back I was going to put on the list to chop, but it's doing some half moon variegation. So I think I'm going to hang on to it and see what the growth continues to do. And this is another propagation restart. I will be chopping this one soon. I'll probably chop it back to the last node, but I love the coloring on this one. This one is very marbly, lots of white. I feel like it has really good genetics. So yeah, I have a lot of monstera albo in my collection. I don't really have any plants here. I actually had a couple here before, but the only plant that I have here now is a begonia. That is my begonia maculata. I grow it strictly in water. I actually restarted it a couple months ago because it had overgrown. I was taking props from it. Some of the older growth was starting to yellow, so I was getting some longer vines. And I think I added something in the water that was a no-no, and I shocked the root system, and pretty much the root system was completely rotting away. It was disgusting. So I started over with a bunch of top cuttings, and they're now starting to root a ton, and she's giving me some new growth. The only thing that I'll say is she's not getting a ton of light being on in that spot. I do have the front door here that has a sliver of a window. Not much light comes in at all, but I'm not going to add any other additional grow light. So if you have any ideas of what other plants I can put on this shelf, let me know. I'm thinking about putting like a pothos or something that wouldn't mind lower light. So if you have any ideas, leave them in the comments. I am curious. I do want to plantify maybe the top of that with another 1 or 2 plants. Here in the dining area is where I have my Hoyas all together in one spot. I have another greenhouse cabinet that's from IKEA. This is their Rudsta, and this is my 2nd year having it. And then I also have a smaller Acrobar cabinet from there as well. And I have a plant shelf and another little shelf. I recently did this Hoya setup earlier this year, and to be honest, I'm not loving this setup. This might be a project I'll do maybe for next year. I might redo my Hoya area again because, like I said, I'm not loving this. It seems a little mismatched. It's kind of crowded over here. So I might restyle this and do something different with the space for next year. I did film an entire Hoya collection video earlier this year as well, actually last month, so it was pretty recently. I still have about 60 Hoyas in my collection, even though I brought some new ones in recently, and I did downsize some, but I feel like 60 is a good number. I don't know if I'll go too far over that number, but I'll know I'll continually bring new Hoyas into my collection and probably downsize some that I no longer want anymore. But I'm happy with the amount that I currently have. I'm just not loving my setup here. So I'm gonna work on that for next year. Yes. Here in the Rudsta cabinet, I keep some of my favorite Hoyas, especially this top shelf here. I love all of these Hoyas. This one on the left is Hoya nabawaniensis variegated. I probably said that wrong. I love the color on this Hoya so much. I'm probably going to chop it soon. And next is this Hoya polynura outer variegated. The left part of this plant is the newer strand that I bought recently, and the right part is a propagation from my original plant, so I potted them both together in here, and I really love the way that it looks. I still have the mother plant that I will probably chop. Hoya crassiopetalata variegated is chef's kiss. I have no words. It's a bit of a slow grower for me, but I cannot wait to prop this one. It's so pretty. Hoya Gunning Gading Ghost. This one has such pretty silver, and the two newest leaves here have sun stressed a bit. Can't wait for this one to grow more. Along with Hoya Lia Prism, I love the color. The new leaves come in so pink and pretty, but I might prop this one soon too. A classic is Hoya Matilled Splash. Mine is very splashy, and I love, love, love this plant so much. Heshkliana variegated is again another one of these classic Hoyas. Cannot wait for blooms. This one is a newerish Hoya. It's Paradisi, I believe, and I love the way that this is trailing. I noticed a small peduncle on her the other day, so I don't know if it will grow or if it'll blast, but I can't wait for blooms. This Hoya Jasminka is a newer Polynura variety into my collection. I already propped her. You guys saw the props a little bit ago. So just waiting on the mother plant to grow back. I got this one after the variegated one, but I love the green tone on this. Of course, I love the splash, but the dark green I feel like is a bit more unique on the Hoya. I just love the overall coloring. It's so pretty. Wilburgrave Silver, again, no words. Silver and splash is like my favorite on Hoyas. So this is to die for. I love the color so much. I didn't really like my Matilled variegated at first because I felt like it wasn't unique in the variegation, but honestly I really love the round leaves. I like round leaves on Hoyas, and I haven't chopped it back in a while, so I think that's why I like it more, because it's had a chance to grow, but it's so pretty and I love her. Lacinosa variegated is definitely such a slow grower for me. Although I love her and I think the leaves, I like the pointiness to them, the next one here I like a lot more because the leaves are just, I don't know, they're just so pretty and it grows so fast. This is Lacinosa Bruno Tricolor, and I love the pink stem. I love the variegation. It's just such a pretty Lacinosa, and yeah, definitely one of my favorites, and yeah, I love her. This is the mother plant of my Polynura outer variegated. So one strand has reverted because I've chopped her so many times, and my other one is growing variegation, but I might just propagate this entire plant up since I have my other one. These are a few more that's in my Redsta. We have this Lima Splash, which has like more oval shaped leaves. I do have peduncles coming in, so I cannot wait for blooms. So hopefully I get some here and I can see what they look like. I love the overall tone of this Hoya. Again, I love the dark foliage with the splash. It's so unique. Definitely one of my favorite Lacinosa varieties. This one is Mint Coin Lacinosa, and this one has more rounder big leaves. And again, I love the silvery tone to this one. It grows so fast for me. I propagated this one recently. This is my silvery Hoya serpens, and the cuttings are actually doing really well, so I might plant them back in here so I can get a fuller pot. But I love the dainty small leaves, and I do have a few peduncles coming in on this one as well, so fingers crossed I get blooms. These are some of my bigger leafed Hoyas. I have the one on the left, which is Hoya Mitra Silver, and then I have Undulata Splash on the right. The Mitra Silver I cut back, I think once or twice before, and then I have this longer vine here that I'm letting grow out. But I love the purple burgundy tone, the splashiness to that. And then Undulata is a bit of a pickier Hoya. I did prop it recently, so fingers crossed it roots for me. Underneath the cabinet, I have two plants. I have my Multiflora variegated, and the blooms just died off. It had two peduncles. I love the blooms on this plant. And then I also have a Hoya discipulae. This is the bottom section. I ended up taking some propagations to start a second plant with. And then you can see my Hoya linearis on the left side. It's so long. I'll show you that one in a second. But straight in front are three Hoyas that I'm thinking about downsizing. They are some of my bigger, fuller Hoyas. They're not really my favorites, and they're not really getting enough light in this spot, but I'm hanging on to them for now. And then up top is my OG Hoya linearis. This one I've had the longest, and it actually started from a small cutting, and it's grown so long and so full. I have added back in here plenty of times, and I have rotted some strands before, but she's my classic. I'm waiting for blooms. And this one over here, I got last year. It is more full. Look at the new growth. I love the way that they're just like sticking straight up. But she is so luscious and full and long. I do propagate from this one as well, but again, no blooms. I am waiting for linearis blooms. I want this plant to bloom so bad for me. Next, we're going to move to this center cart. I do have an acrobar in the middle of the shelf, and again, it's not my favorite, this whole setup, so I definitely want to change it around. I have two Hoya Bella varieties. I have the outer variegated, which is this one here. It does grow slower for me, and it is a lot more finicky. It will drop leaves like there's no tomorrow if you underwater it. And then the inner variegated, this one here, is so easygoing. It's so beautiful. It grows so fast for me, completely different than the other one. I haven't seen the blooms yet, so I'm waiting on this set of blooms to open, and I can't wait, but I love this Hoya, honestly. It's definitely creeping up further on my favorites list. This one is a newer Hoya in my collection. I got this one not that long ago, and I loved the green tone. I love the splash, and it's turning a bit more pink under the grow light, so I'm excited for this one. My Argentina Princess I adore. I chopped it back recently and activated 2 nodes. One node appears to be coming in variegated, which I'm happy about, and the other one seems to be like more of a Nova Ghost, but I may end up propping it back further. We'll see. Another Lacunosa variety here called Silver Snow. And this one I found at the big box store. This is the variegated Wayeti, and I love this Hoya so much. It's so cute. I love all the pink tones. I adore this Hoya so much. My OG Crimson Princess. This is all that's left of her. She went through the ringer, but I'm excited to still have her growing because I do love her. This Wilbur Graves is honestly such an easygoing Hoya, and the silver color is beautiful. I've chopped this plant back so many times, and the new growth always comes in with the most beautiful looking silver color, and just an all-around gorgeous plant. I haven't had blooms yet, but the foliage is stunning. We have Caracia Silver throwing off a wild vine. I don't know where that one's going. This one has been more of a finicky one for me. I feel like it's a bit more finicky to grow and propagate. I've seen these really full in people's collections before, so hopefully mine will get there one day. And this is Broguette Polynura. I love the outer light green that this one is doing. I did restart this one recently. And this one here is stunning as well. I love the heart-shaped leaves and the silver and the splash. Such a cute Hoya. And then beside that one, I have another Lacunosa variety. This one is mint or silver mint. It's looking a little crazy. I need to chop this soon. I don't have any active blooms right now, but I love this one. I love like the chunky leaves, and they're round, but they're not. And I have a lot of half moon leaves, which is my favorite. I just adore this Hoya, and I love the pot trellis combo with this whole setup, so definitely one of my favorite Hoyas, and yeah, nothing bad to say about this one. Here's the top cuttings of Hoya discipulae. I don't have any active blooms right now, but it blooms constantly for me. I wanted to start another plant so that I could have two to propagate from. And then this is Hoya IM08. It does single flower blooms most of the time. It has really round petite leaves, and yeah, it's really cute. I just have like one long strand of this one. I was going to downsize my Hoya obovata, but I decided to keep these 2 leaves because one, the half moon, and it's like Mickey Mouse ears. I'll probably restart it though. Hoya carnosa freckles is blowing me away. The splash that's come back on this plant. I lost the color, but I ended up, one of the propagations I did, ended up reshooting a new node from down below, which continued all the splash, and she is stunning. Definitely like one of my favorites right now. And the New Guinea Ghost I feel like is a classic. It does have a silvery tone to the leaves, but I feel like it's more of a mint green in a way than like pure silver, but I really do love this Hoya. This is Carnosa Flamingo Dream, I believe. I have one strand over here that has some green and pink and white, and this one over here is growing all white. But yeah, I really like that one. And then my Pitiful Hoya Sunrise is growing back from a couple propagations. This is my big Polynura, my green, my OG. I love her, love her, love her. And yeah, she is just a stunning Hoya. I love Polynura. I have so many varieties. And up top I have the outer variegated, which I think is my favorite variety, but honestly I really love the new outer Polynura that I got recently. But I love all the elbow leaves that this one gives me. I have one strand here with a lot of white. This one has a lot of white, and then I have a lot of other Beautiful growth. I just think the white outer variegation is so unique. And the one in the center here is Polynura Silver. This one's all silver. I don't think it's grown back a bit since I propagated it, but I kind of want to restart this one, so I might take a cutting again. And then this is Compacta. I'm waiting for those blooms. It has not bloomed yet. This one I restarted back not too long ago. It's kind of off on the edge here, so it doesn't get a ton of light. So I have to see how some of these Hoyas do, because again, I moved them here recently. And then inside my acrobar, I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 Hoyas in here, and I may downsize a couple of them, but we'll have to see. I'm definitely like working on rearranging all my Hoyas. I feel like I kind of just put them in this spot and I haven't really messed with them since, but I definitely want to like redo this area and get them styled a bit differently. And this one here has the cutest little blooms. They're so cute. They're like little tulips. I'm still not in love with the foliage, so I haven't decided if I want to keep this one or not. The blooms are really cute. This was an import Hoya, so I don't know. I do have some props that are growing right now though. Here is a Hoya Wonderfill. I took a top cutting on that one. I have Nova Ghost, and then I have a Castro something with one little new leaf here. It hasn't done anything else, so I do like the veining on that one though. So that is my Hoya collection. If you have any ideas on what I should do with this space, or if you have a shelf that you like that I could swap out, I wouldn't mind like moving the mirror as well so that my shelf would fit. But yeah, let me know if you have any ideas. And I almost forgot, I put this Maranta right here. This is a variegated Cruciovana. This is a propagation from my other plant that I'll show you. It's in the bedroom, but it's just in water right now. I don't think I'll leave it here though. Up next, we are moving into Anthurium territory. So this section is for you Anthurium lovers out there. I do have quite a collection of Anthurium, and I'm kind of at a point where I'm good. I'm good with Anthurium. I went kind of crazy there for a while, and I got a lot of new hybrids and small little seedlings. Some of them are starting to grow and get bigger. I think I do probably have over 60 Anthurium. No, I probably have closer to 70 Anthuriums now. It's a lot. I'm going to quickly show you some Anthuriums that are some of my favorites right now, and then I'll go through and show you the rest of them kind of very quickly, and I may just put some names on the screen because we do have a lot, like I said. This is one that has been speaking to me a lot lately. This is a Carla hybrid. It is a NSC Carla and a PAP GY. And I love this one so much. I love the mature leaf, and this is so dark. It is like almost black. I do have another one because I got 2 seedlings, but this one out of both the seedlings is doing the best. And I am going to get probably a new leaf soon, maybe. But she is a very dark, very beautiful. I love this leaf. Here you can see more in the light. It's so pretty. So she's definitely been a favorite lately. Another favorite is this Black Widow, crossed with Black Widow. This is a Dock Block Anthurium, and the newest leaf just stole my heart. I love the veining. I love how you can see the veining with the newest leaf. The one before, you could still see it, but it didn't have as many lateral veins. I feel like there's more lateral veining in this one, but it is stunning. And I think I am getting a new leaf soon. Yes, I am, right here, which is going to be so exciting. Stunning, right? No words. Another fave is Anthurium HU, or King of Spades. I have 3 of them actually. This was a propagation from one of the other ones I have behind me, and then I have a different one from Cartel down. But this one here I love better because I love the round leaf shape. It is beautiful. I have a tiny little one here too. This leaf is so cute. And I'm hoping I get a new leaf soon. It does seem to be a bit on the slower side at growing for me, this Anthurium I've noticed, but she is stunning. One of my faves, absolutely, for sure. A lot of these Anthuriums I just don't know because they're so new to me, and I feel like I'm not that knowledgeable with Anthuriums. It's a Bessier AFF crossed with a Scott Cohen Pat plus self, but I love like the leaf shape and I love like I don't know what you call that, all the little pivots. I don't know what that's called. The newest leaf here is so pretty. I love the new leaves when they come in. Beautiful Anthurium. I do need to probably repot a lot of these. They're kind of growing too tall, and Honestly, a lot of them could use a taller pot. I might have to take a day and upsize a lot of these. She is pretty. And another one that I have been loving a lot lately, it's still very tiny, but it's a red vein dark phoenix. This is the newest leaf. Beautiful. The grow light fell on it and burnt this one. I have this one in the acrobar up there. So it's still tiny, it's still growing. It was a little bit of a rehab because I was trying to reroot it, so it hasn't rooted a ton yet, but this is the newest leaf and it's like perfect. I love the red veining. So this one I have been drawn to a lot lately as well. So I have two Anthuriums and I love them both. I've been trying to pollinate this one and it's been unsuccessful now. I tried pollinating 3 different inflows and the last remaining inflow is yellowing, so I'm gonna go ahead and snip this away. So I'm hoping I can self it because that's what I really want to do. I'm gonna clip. I really thought it worked because it looked like the inflow was changing a little bit in here. Like I could see it, but then it just aborted it. I think because it needs to be repotted and I'm underwatering it. I think that's why. It's getting ready to push a new leaf right here. And it is going to be massive because the leaves are so long. So I did get a new pot. I'm going to upsize it because it is just insanely rooted. It is crazy. I would say it's drying out like every, I don't know how often, but it's often, like every 5 days or so. So I'm going to have to upsize it soon. Here is the other Plethysphlorum I have. It's a bit more narrow, so I have this one hanging on the left side of the shelf, and the one closer to the window that I just showed you is on this side. So this one gets a bit more light. I'm going to start on the shelf closest to the window first. I have 2 Anthurium Michelle by Doc Block up here on top. They don't get a whole lot of light. I might have to move them. And then my Anthurium is just pitiful. It's been pollinated twice and ever since then it's just gone downhill and I'm really sad about it. And this one here, I forget the name. I know it's a Carla hybrid, but I'll make sure to leave all the names so that you know what they are. And then I also have the Ace of Spades. This was grown from tissue culture. And I do have a new leaf back there, but I don't know, it doesn't get a lot of light like it used to, so I feel like it's not the happiest. I'm still working on adding or seeing how these Anthuriums do because this again was like recently that I set this up and I'm still seeing how some plants react. And then here's all my King of Spades. I showed you the one on the right already. This one here is from Cartel, and then here's the other bigger part of the first one that I showed you. And yeah, I feel like these are very slow. I haven't gotten a new leaf on them both in a while. I just love this plant. I love the look of it. I love the veining, just everything. It is perfect. I have a Carla Blackie here. This is a newer one into my collection, so I haven't had it for too long. I did upsize it pretty much right when I got it, so it hasn't given me a new leaf yet, but I am very excited for it. And next I have some of my other like ones I love to look at that are growing. I showed you the Black Widow already, and then beside that I have these 2 plants here from Doc Block. They are Dark and Handsome crossed with Red Velvet Cake. I have 2, but they look completely different. I have the bigger one here, and then I have the smaller one right in front of it. And the smaller one got cold damage, but this newer one looks different, so I'm happy to have them both. And then I also have a plant here from Rousseau Plant Care. I forget the exact name, but if I can find it, I will put it on the screen. I think it's like a purple crystallosaurus and something. I have a couple Carla hybrids here. Both of these are newer-ish into my collection, and they haven't really grown or done a whole lot yet. And then below that I have some of my bigger Anthuriums. Now the big one on the left side is my own creation. This is my Clarinervium and Pedato radiatum hybrid. I do have this one currently pollinated. I crossed it with my Crystal Mag. So I feel like the berries are going to be a while, but I love the leaves on this. It's such a unique Anthurium, and she is big. I also have my Crystal Mag down there, as well as my Forgetii and Doriakii. So that is pretty much it on that section here. And then moving on to the middle compartment, here's the other Carla hybrid that I showed in the beginning. You can see the one on the left is a bit smaller, but they're from the same batch. And then Anthurium Delta Force I love is actually growing a lot more for me. and its first inflow I'm not going to do anything with. I might collect pollen if I can get anything. And this big guy down here is Anthurium Sarah Campanense and something else. If I can find the exact cross, I will make sure to list it. And then these three cuties are my little creation. This is Doriakii Forgetii crossed with my Magnificum. They're so cute. They haven't grown like a ton yet, and again, I feel like they're not getting the most light. And then here on the left side, I have so many more Anthuriums. A lot of these are some smaller ones on the first and second shelves. But yeah, I have a lot crammed into this space. Here on the bottom, the left Anthurium is a no ID. I'm not sure exactly what it is. And I also have a crystallinum that I had from back in the day. It is a rehabbing. And I have an entire bin here of rehabs. My Podato radiatum is in here rehabbing. This is a rehab Elsmeralda Warocqueanum. I have the mother, or the top part, on the top shelf, but that new leaf came out not that long ago. And yeah, I think I have Forgetii in here. Just some random rehabs. I have my Splendid in a water thing up there too. So yeah, hopefully some of these grow back. This one here is a Forgetii crossed with Luxurians. It's from Woohoo Tropicals. I got this as like a top section. It hasn't grown a whole lot yet, and I showed you this one in the beginning. I just think this plant is so beautiful. And here's a look at the new leaf with the light off. It just is stunning plant. That little cutie back there, I forget what that one is. I think it's a red crystal luxurians maybe, and this one here is a green mama crossed with silver blush. I also have another trailing Anthurium. This is Wanglingrii. I got a new leaf on it finally. It took a while to kind of rehab. I got it over winter or earlier this year, but it's a bit curled. It's doing some weird thing. So hopefully that one will grow up beautiful here in some time. This one is a blue pap crossed with Fort Sherman. This is a cartel plant. This one has been on the struggle bus for me lately. And this one here, I can't remember off the top of my head either, but I'll make sure to put the name. And beside that, I have a newer red crystallinum. This one here from NSC Tropicals, and it's crossed with a variegated crystallinum. So I'm very curious if any babies that I grow from this, if I decide to self it, if anything will come variegated. I have a Doriakii Silver here. New leaf is coming in. It's so cute. And beside that, I have a cartel plant. This is a Pap Forgetii crossed with Dark Phoenix. And this one, the leaves are like almost black. It is such a beautiful Anthurium. It's taken a while to grow. This was from the first round I got from them, but it is beautiful. And I'm really excited to see it mature more. Gorgeous leaves. This red crystal came back from the brink of death. It is still rehabbing, but hopeful to get a new leaf and to get it growing good again. And moving on to some of the smaller ones. There is so many here, I don't even know where to start. The little cuties in here are Tazula Red Crystal and Forgetii. And then over here on the left, I think this is another cartel plant. It's Bigfoot and Basilisk. I also have another one in the Acrobar that's smaller. And then this is a Bessier hybrid. I was trying to turn the light off because I feel like the light just blurs out some of the coloring, but that one's cute. I also have, I'll put the name of this one on the screen, I forget. And then turning the light off again. This one in the back, I forget the name, but I love the coloring on it. I can definitely see the red crystal, and I think the shade of green is really beautiful. This one in the back is really pretty as well. I love that leaf. I just love all the different tones and shapes, and I don't know, I'm just obsessed with all these little hybrids. I'm not really sure the names off the top of my head. Hopefully I will get there one day. And this one here is just absolutely stunning. I just am falling in love with this one. I believe this is another SKG Silver and Tazula Red Crystal. That's what this one is. But it's pushing a new leaf, which I'm so excited to see, but it is beautiful. I do believe I have two of these, so I may let the other one go. This little cutie in the front hasn't really done a whole lot, and then I have a couple others in the back. This one is another, I think a red crystal crossed with something, but I love that cute little leaf. This one is my only variegated Anthurium. It has been on the struggle bus, honestly. The variegated leaves come in so variegated that they've been crisping. I honestly think moving it to more light and humidity will help it, so I might have to adjust some things with some of these. So that is that shelf. Oh, and I forgot, I have a couple rehabbing here on the left. I have a Carla in here that rotted its roots, but it is re-rooting and I have a new leaf coming in. So I'll probably get that potted back up soon. But it's another, I think it's a NSE Carla crossed with another Carla. And then I have another cartel here. I think this is a Bigfoot. Yeah, this is Bigfoot crossed with Self, and I have one new leaf since rehabbing. This one again, after being imported, the roots just kind of shocked and all rotted away, and it just wasn't doing well in soil, so I had to like reroot it. And then up top, I forgot to show the Queen Esmeralda there on the right, but that's like the top cutting. And here in the cabinet, I have two seed-grown Warroqueanum from Urso Plant Care. I got a batch of 5 seeds, so these two I'm keeping back for me. It's so cool seeing their first leaves come in. I'll probably keep both of them. And this one I was really excited for. This is a red spider crossed with Self, and it hasn't done a whole lot honestly since being imported. I think it's still rehabbing, but I really do think I need to provide some of these with better conditions. And I have 2 of these guys. These are a Brielle and Michelle hybrid. I like this one here in the back. This leaf is so pretty. I'm really excited to see these mature, but they have been very slow to get started for me. This little cutie, I believe, is a Carla hybrid. I think so. Carla and Bevep. I have another one of these as well. And this is the other basilisk here. So it has the ruffled edges. So I'm hoping they do well. And this is another hybrid I got that hasn't really done much since I got it. So that is that cabinet. Turning that light back on. So you can see it is still pretty dark, so I may have to add some more light here to this space. Another favorite, or another, I would say this isn't an Anthurium, but a newer plant to my collection is this cutie here. It's a Calathea or Geopertia I'm not going to try and pronounce it. I love this plant so much. It's done so well. I've probably had it about a month now, 3 weeks, something like that. I haven't repotted it yet or anything. It has the softest, like fuzziest leaves ever, and I have a heart for these kind of plants. I love them. So I would say in the time that I've had her, she does seem to be doing okay in this spot. I was a little worried because she's like the furthest away from the window and she's not really getting any additional light. I do have a arm here that has a grow light for the Anthuriums, but she doesn't really get a lot of that. I can like move and adjust this. I did just recently rotate her because she was growing more that way, which tells me she's wanting more light. But I'll see how she continues to do. If I feel like she needs more light, I may just add like a clip light or something and shine it down on her this way. In the other corner is my, my Makoyana that I love so much. Over here by the east window is my staghorn fern. I love this plant so much. I set this up recently in one of the orchid pot things and I hung it here, but it's so cute and it seems really happy in this spot. This one wasn't my original one. I had one mounted before that didn't survive, but this one here just has been such a happy plant and I love that it's hanging here now. And below that is my one and only Geopertia Makoyana. I've had this plant for so long and I just truly adore her. She's such a happy plant. I do feel like I need to repot her soon. She hasn't given me a ton of growth this summer, so I feel like she really could use the refresh, but she's beautiful. I love her leaves. I love how she prays at night, and yeah, just a fantastic plant. I also have one orchid. This is a Phalaenopsis orchid. Several of you told me to cut the bloom spike back to I think the last node or maybe all the way back, so I might do that. It lost its blooms a couple months ago and the stem is still green, so I haven't decided what to do. And then I also have this new Alocasia albo silver dragon. I just have it chilling here in the window, just kind of acclimating. I haven't decided if I want to keep it in soil or move it to pond. I honestly might move it or keep it in soil. One of the leaves broke, so it's on its way out, but that newest leaf here is stunning. So pretty. I'm gonna move it to my plant room though soon. Here in our bedroom, it is completely north facing. We have a huge bay window in here, and this is where I keep a lot of my Marantaceae plants. So I have a lot of Maranta. I have some Tenanthes. I have calathea, and then I also have a shelf here that I put some trailing phylos and pothos, just some random plants that I had out in the dining room where the Anthuriums are. I needed to find room for them, so they made their way in here. Now, this area where we have this huge window, I love the space in here, but I do want to completely redo this. I'm not happy with the setup. I just kind of put these plants here when we moved here, and I got a couple shelves, and that's where they are. But I don't like this space at all. I honestly would love like a little chair with like a reading nook in here and kind of style the plants around that. And I have a lot of space above the windows that I could do some hanging plants. That's something I do really want to work on with my plants over the coming years, is work on getting them styled and looking nice, and just make some really cool plant areas. I feel like I'm not that good with styling and everything, and it's something I want to strive to be better at. So that is a future goal for me, is to style my plants in a really nice way. So this is definitely a work in progress area, as well as my bathroom. So the bathroom plants, I have the same plants in there. I feel like the same plants have been in there for a couple years now. I did recently chop the golden pothos that was hanging from the wall because it got so neglected. It would dry out constantly. I had never repotted it. I bought that at the big box store 3 years ago at least. Yeah, over 3 years ago, and it was just looking sad. It was losing a lot of leaves. It was getting bare vines. So I made the decision to chop some healthy vines, and I'm going to restart that plant, plant those. I might consider moving that plant to the entryway where the begonia is, and sit it up there and let it kind of trail and climb and do whatever it wants, because it is like low light in that spot. But I do want to redo the bathroom area as well and do something really nice in there and get some nice, maybe hang a couple plants and style them really nice. So definitely some areas I would like to redo for sure. So out here on our patio, or a lanai, I have a few indoor plants that I keep out here that my goal is to keep them out here year round. Last winter was kind of the first winter that I experimented with doing that. And I did have some plant casualties. We had a freak snowstorm here in the south, which is kind of crazy. I don't think it snowed here I think 2018, which was like 6 years ago. But we had that weird snowstorm, and a lot of plants unfortunately didn't make it. Well, not a lot, but there's a few. And one of them that died back completely was a Monstera deliciosa, my OG Monstera deliciosa. I do have a part of it, and then I planted the rest out by the tree outside, and I'm going to see how that does growing back each year. I did end up planting several plants out in the yard on the side of the house. I have a huge banana tree variegated. I have some alocasia I planted out there. I planted a ring of fire, and we have some like various succulents, agave. We have a yucca that's in bloom that is gorgeous, absolutely stunning, the blooms that are coming in on that. It bloomed last year and it was so pretty. But as far as here on the patio, my goal was to leave these plants out here, but because we had that weird snowstorm last year, they just were unhappy, and I know that's not the normal, so I'm trying to think in my head, if I can leave these plants out here, how to go about that. I was covering them every time it dropped like below freezing. We have so many frost blankets that we were covering the plants out in the yard even. Now the plants on the front porch, the succulents, did fine. Some of them got some frost damage, like my snake plants and stuff, and I'll show you those here. But the plants that were out here didn't do well. My oxalis grew back from tubers. I bought like a new small plant that I potted in with it, and it's huge now. So that will probably go dormant for sure out here, but it'll grow back in the spring. And then I brought out my second Monstera Thai constellation. It hasn't done much all spring, summer, and I may have to investigate that. It may be staying too moist out here with the humidity and constant rain that we've been getting. Probably end up moving that back inside. And then I have a couple ficus plants that I'll probably end up moving inside as well for the winter, because my other ficus that I had out here didn't make it. And then I also have my huge regal shields, which I would really love for that one to stay out here year round. As long as the tuber, like the actual corm base, is not rotted and it's healthy, it'll regrow. So I don't really care too much about losing the foliage as long as the plant, grows back. I really don't have a spot to bring this big plant in, so I may be tempted to leave this one out here because I do have other regal shields in my collection. But I may just scoot it closer to the patio screen here and cover it on a really cold night and just like really protect it and keep it warm. Because at least here in the patio, they're not getting rained on unless they're up close to the patio. So if I move it further away and cover it, I feel like it should be okay. I don't really grow a lot of plants outside. I would love for more plants to be able to grow out here, and I was kind of experimenting to see what I could plant in the ground and what would grow back. So plants that I'm considering downsizing in my collection, I may move out here and plant like in the spring. They should hopefully do well over spring and summer, and then the following year they should root enough into the ground that they should grow back for next year. So that's probably what I'll end up doing with some plants in my collection that I no longer want to keep. I may propagate the plant up, and like the base, the stump, I may end up just planting out here somewhere, and who knows. I'll be curious to know what can actually grow back. I haven't decided if I wanted to get a greenhouse out here or not. I'm not really wanting to grow plants like that out here. I contemplate it back and forth a lot, but I'm happy with like my indoor plant collection, that I don't know if I would want like a massive indoor plant collection and then have a bunch of plants out here and having to go back and forth, and watering and maintaining a greenhouse I feel like would be a lot of work, and that's something I don't really have the time for. I'm not ruling it out completely, but for right now I'm kind of leaning more towards I'm not really wanting one, but we'll see. Our front porch is south facing, so there's a good part of the porch that gets that sun during the day. And so I have a lot of cacti and succulents out here, and it's become one of my favorite areas to look at. I love looking at the progress of all the succulents and the cacti, and I love seeing them thrive out here over summer. And I'm actually excited that they didn't die last year over winter, even with a snowstorm. So I'm excited to leave them out here year round. So I will not be bringing any of these plants in. They will stay out here. And if they get frost damage, like my snake plant, I pretty much had to restart. I did a whole video on repotting them all earlier this year that I can link down below as well. But the snake plant has grown back. It's like a completely new plant. It's crazy, and just like a short, I don't know, 4 months or so since I repotted them, how much it's grown out here, getting the really warm, humid, hot conditions that the environment provides for outside. I do really like these plants a lot, and I'm happy that I can keep them out here and I don't have to find room for them inside, because that would be definitely a challenge. And then providing them with the same amount of light and stuff indoors would be kind of difficult, not really having a spot for them. So I'm glad I can leave these plants out here year round, and I know that they'll do fine. And if not, I can like restart some of them. But I'm going to do my best to cover them over winter, but at least in the back of my head, I know that they'll be fine out here. So that wraps up my houseplant tour. I really hope you enjoyed it. It was a lot to get through, like I said, so hopefully it wasn't too fast for some of you guys. I just feel like I could talk about each plant forever and go on, and I know I would get bored watching that, so I didn't want it to be too boring for you. It's a lot of plants to go through and to share in a short amount of time. I hope you enjoyed it though, and I'm looking forward to styling my collection. That's what I really want to focus on in the coming years. I know I'm going to constantly be bringing new plants in, downsizing plants. I feel like I'm always going to do that. One, as a hobbyist, and two, this is like my job and selling plants. So I feel like bringing new plants in is going to be something I'm always going to do, but I'm looking forward to just curating a collection of my own that I'm really happy with, and plants that I can enjoy styling and looking at. So it's something I really, really want to focus on for the coming years. If you watched this all the way through, thank you so much. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up for me if you liked it, and leave a comment down below. Let me know of any ideas you have with those spaces. Let me know which plant of mine is your favorite. Let me know if you've been here through some of the early days. I would love to hear from you and reply to as many of you as I can down there. Again, thank you so much for watching and for being here, and I will talk to you again soon.